Welcome everyone, it's Evelyn. I have two reads for you. I'm going to get right into it today because there were some important messages that came off of the main read on the table that I want to touch base on first before I get into the read. I'm going to do this read first today and then the Metatron read. That's all I have for you today. We're going to roll the die first, but there's definitely some information that was coming up around the supernova that came up as, from my code line. But it was giving me some connections to the supernova and what it has to do with. So you might want to stay tuned to hear that information. So let's roll a die first. Today is April 12th, 2022. Okay, we have number 1, which is the Magician, which is also Gemini, can be Virgo at times. Sometimes I get Aries for the Magician as well. But that's also the month of January, which is Capricorn into Aquarius, and unless you're dealing with the new astrology, which incorporates the 13th sign. And I think it moves it to where instead of Capricorn being mid-December to January, it's more January to February, and everything gets pushed on a month in that respect. But either way, we have the January energy here, or the Magician. We have Leo over here. So again, Leo is ego, and it is a fixed sign. Gemini is the Magician, and that is a mutable sign. And then here we have the North Node, which is in Taurus, which is another fixed sign. But again, we have the Magician with Leo and Taurus North Node. So following that Taurus fixed energy of follow through with the heart of a child in Magician embodiment. So let's see how else that might come out today. I'm going to show you the picture of the read that's on the table. This is the SIRIAN Starseed deck. And then the full 7-deck read here with all the clarifiers. For those of you not familiar with this read, the 7 decks are the mini Rider-Waite. We have the Romance Angels here, Tarot Sexual Magic. The Numerology deck is back there. This is the Universal Golden, and back there is the Gilded Tarot. And the main deck is the SIRIAN Starseed deck, and we pull Oracle cards at the end as well. So the reason why, before I get into the read, I want to bring up the message that came up from the code line. So this is literally all from the code line, and it was confirmed multiple times. So literally the initials of SESN came up, which is the stripped envelope supernova. So when I looked up the definitions for that, that was what came up. So I looked it up and I found out that there was a supernova that recently came up regarding Cassiopeia A. And when I looked up the SNA again also, because the stripped envelope supernova was an acronym of SESN, but I wanted to look up the definition if there was a word. So the one word that I found was Cessna Est, but without the est, I would just subtract the EST from the definition. So Cessna, literally the definition was 16, and the supernova that I looked up was 16 light years wide. So there was a confirmation right there. So the Cessna EST was coming up as 16, but without grace, not living in the present moment, without orientation of the south or east. And the supernova was coming up regarding a problem on the west side of it. And again, saying whatever happened to it was without their consent. This is literally Cassiopeia speaking for themselves. The night, yes. The mass expanding, the 5, Sagittarius, with the King of Pentacles, right, which is the humble loyal servant, of suffering to seal. And this had to do with the news of the wrong direction of the Cassiopeian explosion, right, of the supernova. So, of course, you can look up the definition of the supernova if you don't know what a supernova is, but it has to do with the star dying and the very long process that occurs. And what happened with Cassiopeia A was the normal even expansion of the supernova didn't happen as it usually happens. Some of it was folding in upon itself, or rather an implosion as opposed to an explosion, but it was a combination of both. It wasn't just one or the other. So the reason I wanted to bring it up, because I was literally getting a relationship between Cassiopeia A and Sagittarius A, and they're not right next to each other. And I was getting for sure there was German Deutschland, so it could be Dutch-oriented German, the dark German energies here, has something to do with this distortion of Cassiopeia's supernova explosion and implosion, and that Sagittarius A has a part of it where it was filled in what they think what was a remnant from a supernova, which I was being told was the remnant from Cassiopeia A. And it's really weird because Sagi A, in the perspective map that I was seeing, the Sagittarius A was quite a bit below Cassiopeia off to the right. But I was getting that the shell of Cassiopeia A is what is in Sagittarius A, and the dark German, Dutch or Deutschland energies up there had something to do with that transfer. It was very weird, but very confirming. So, and again, DE came up twice in the code line, which is the code for Germany. Okay? So now I'm going to go through all the specific energies that I did get in the code line, so I'm probably going to touch on this stuff again. And also, yesterday I wanted to mention that a young buck was standing outside my door when I went to lock up last night. And he was beautiful. You know, his antlers were just starting to grow, and he was just on the property between me and my next door neighbor. And he was just looking at me there for a minute, and I talked to him for a little bit before he, finally ran away, because I guess the door scared him. But there's that energy of the young buck, like, coming out, which was an amazing energy, because I don't usually see the young bucks. I'll see a lot of deer, but they don't usually have antlers, or they're smaller deer. This one was pretty significant. So, and by the way, the picture of Cassiopeia and Cepheus was significant coming up here too, which we'll get into as I get into the read. So I cut the SIRIAN Starseed deck for this read at 8:20, which is the Strength card and the 20 of Judgment, which is also the wake-up call to do the dance, to manifest your dreams. And at 8:32, which is the 32 of the 6 of Wands, or the Journeyman, NA was coming up, so not applicable, or whatever NA might mean to you. I was just getting Nazi something. Nazi Aryan nation. I don't know if that's NA has something to do with Germany in that respect, but that's what I was just getting. But then at 8:48, I finished clarifying, which is the 8 of the Strength card and manifesting and dreams and all of that, and then the 48 of the 8 of Cups of walking away and within. The major arcana in this read were Strength card, the Luna or Moon. Before the read was Indigo, which is the Magician in this deck. And after the read was Reflection of the Hermit, the Lovers, the Tower, and then the Guidance, which is the Hierophant card. There were 3 Cups, 3 Swords, 2 Pentacles, and 1 Wand. So we have the 33 and 21 here, which is like a 3-3-3 kind of energy. The 33 of the Christ vibration, the 7 of Wands, standing up for oneself without getting triggered. The 21 of the world, being whole and complete, or coming full circle. But again, there's that 21 is also a 3. So 3-3-3 type of energy. We have the Knight of Cups in the read, the Queen of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, and the King of Wands. So literally we have 3 knights in the read, along with the Page of Swords and the King of Wands. Before the read, the Page and Queen of Wands and the 9 of Wands, Wounded Warrior, who could actually be another sibling or a partner there, came up together. And then after the read, just the 9 of Pentacles, but that's the sovereign energy. There were 2 ones or double ones, double 6s and double 9s. So the 11 of Justice, the 66 of the Queen of Pentacles, the 99 of Compassion, endings, completion points. It's the Hermit, but it's also the collective consciousness. So the 1 and the all of the 9. And also then 16, which came up again here, of the Tower, 69 of the Ace of Pentacles. We also have 15 of the Devil, 56 of the 2 of Swords, and 69 of the Ace of Pentacles, that offer of time, money, and energy, or perhaps a new life. The code line was all about patience, and it was broken up into Patience and CE, as in seal, or CE, however that comes up for you. Definitely CE was coming up for me today regarding the Greek legends, regarding Cassiopeia, and Cetus, which is the sea monster who was sent to kill her, or to torture her, whatever. And then Cepheus, which was her father, not Cassiopeia's father, it's Cassiopeia's husband, but Andromeda's father. So the sea monster was supposed to get Andromeda because Cassiopeia was bragging about her beauty and her daughter's beauty, and so she got in trouble. So her daughter had to be sacrificed. So Andromeda was supposed to get chained, or was chained to the sea, but then her rescuer came in and rescued her, and so Poseidon was pissed off that Cassiopeia hadn't gotten punished, so he chains her in that chair for all time up in the sky, right? So that she's punished for what she did. So that was the story, and the CE was coming up regarding Cepheus. So whatever happened to Cepheus after she got chained up in the sky to be punished? In the sky, Cepheus is sitting next to Cassiopeia in his house. He's got a house and she's chained to a chair. And so that represents his castle as the king of Ethiopia, which was Philissus. I'll see what it's called. Ethiopia used to be Philitis or something like that. It'll come up in the read. But it's very similar to Philly, so which is where I am, but also in Egypt. So the code line being all about patience, and the number that came up was the number 5, which has to do with change, expansion, and freedom. Also the Hierophant, which has to do with guidance and societal norms and commitment. The code line messages were coming up as this, and this was at 9/11, so there might be some urgent energy here. The Christ Sophia was coming up, to see the Christos Sophia energy of the masculine feminine wholeness of the God energy, the love energy, the source, creator energy of the Christ Sophia. But it was coming up as the Sophia Christ. But then when I looked at it, Cassiopeia was coming up right away. Also, social security numbers may be coming up regarding taxes and filing and all that kind of stuff. And the energy of all these things being good if it's aimed at support of the Hierophant or someone's freedom regarding union, and Sagittarius was coming up here as well. And again, Sagittarius A literally was coming up here. And the department of crystals or pentacles. And remember, crystals is being Christ-like or crystals, which is purging. So the department of being Christ-like or of purging. And then DE came up twice in the header, actually 3 times, which is the symbol for Deutschland or Germany. Regarding this union, and the Knight of Pentacles, who's the loyal, humble servant of patience, but coming up as patient and CE, which is literally someone who's suffering or worrying. One person or people, or even a C, like Poseidon, as someone who's suffering or worrying about something. A foot or leg comes up here too. A person, or perhaps a symbol, like one of the astrological symbols. But a foot or a leg is significant here regarding a person or people that are suffering or worrying. So it also comes up as the season or the sea sun, which is then talking about Poseidon. It is, and I talk about him all the time, the horse. I'm just blanking out. So his sun is coming up here, or the season for the sea sun, which is the sea's sun. Why am I blanking out? Well, you know the horse I'm talking about. But that it's good if it points to support in expanding the union or the Sagittarius A. So again, that Sagittarius A thing had to do with the connection of Cassiopeia's explosion and the shell ending up in Sagittarius A. The Knight of Pentacles of patience here, and suffering people, perhaps dealing with feet and legs. That can be coming up as well. Someone who serves people who suffer, which can be people who suffer emotionally, physically, mentally, however it is. The code line was also coming up as that stripped envelope supernova, the sensna est of 16, without grace or not living in the present moment, without orientation south or east, the problem was west, and without their consent. So again, planets are living beings, they're consciousnesses, and this was done without their consent. Whatever distortion to their supernova was done without their consent. And again, the Germans might have had something to do with that. The mass expanding, again, that's a supernova, exponentially, of Sagittarius A, and the Knight of Pentacles of suffering. To seal it up. It could also, so literally, if there was a gap in Sagittarius A, which is very significant to everybody, right? Because they all want power over Sagittarius A, it would be very significant to close up any wounds of Sagittarius A. So this coding of Cassiopeia may have been directed to seal up Sagittarius A. I don't know how this would happen, right? But they have all sorts of abilities that we don't have. So I'm just saying that's what I was getting. So again, I looked up the news, and the news was this bizarre supernova exploding, or part of it was exploding in the wrong direction at Cassiopeia A, which is 11,000 light years from Earth. And it shows a section of gas cloud that is collapsing in on itself, or reverse shock supernova gas cloud is roughly 16 light years wide. And this was from MSN.com. And then I went to they think it was possibly due to, perhaps it was a binary planet or another planet that exploded before it did, which then caused damage to it. But that was speculation, and there's others that didn't agree with that theory. So from interestingengineering.com, the last gasp of sufficiently large star in death throes, explosive, finally becomes the brightest point of light in the entire galaxy in less than a second, and can remain so for weeks before fading away into a spectacular nebula spread across dozens of hot hundreds of light years. Or not hot, but across dozens, if not hundreds of light years. So literally the core collapses, and then everything gets sucked in and then explodes. So the western region, those shells were going in opposite directions instead of being all evenly going in the same outer direction. The outer shell was going outward, but the inner shell was going inward. So I looked up that stripped envelope supernova, which is a supernova whose spectrum lacks or is highly deficient in hydrogen lines, and where the star has already blown away its outer hydrogen envelope, exposing the lower enveloping of helium layer prior to explosion. So that sounds very much like Cassiopeia. So then, of course, serendipity came up, because in the movie Serendipity, he draws Cassiopeia on her arm. And of course, the serendipity is an unintended happening or accidental discovery. That's wonderful usually. Serendip is actually island of the Sinhala people, or Sri Lanka. And Sarin in serendipity actually means to sting, to shrivel up. But also it means to calm and clear stars, but also serene or serenity and calmness. So, and dip it means to dip, like saucer gymnastics, a dip. So the two together come up as stars. A dip that calms is clear or shrivels up or stings. So it has the serendipitous occasion seems to relate directly to what stars go through, whether they calm us or whether they shrivel up or whether they sting us. And so Sagittarius A East was coming up, the most massive single object in the Milky Way, the supermassive black hole, distinctly non-thermal, with supernova remnants, which I was getting those remnants are what came from Cassiopeia in a shell-like shape. And Sagi is an elliptical, not a spherical shape. Yeah. And then at 10:18, that's when I was getting that it's that Cassiopeia is in Sagittarius A. It's that remnant. And that was at 10:18, which is the wheel and the 18 of the moon. And then I was getting 10:19, which is the moon and the sun right there, and the wheel of fortune. So then the story regarding Cepheus and Cassiopeia in the sky, I was literally getting Cassiopeia sent a piece of her heart to Sagittarius A. Her 16 light year wide, that happening was without her consent. The queen of Ethiopia, the wife of King Cepheus, the daughter of Coronis and Zeuxo, she was vain. I told you the story already. Got her daughter in trouble, which she ended up getting saved, and then Cassiopeia ended up getting chained up in the heavens in this chair. So again, Poseidon's coming up here as infuriated and sent the sea monster Cetus to plague the coasts of Ethiopia or cause the lands to flood. So Cepheus and Cassiopeia had to sacrifice Andromeda to appease Poseidon. So he chained her to a rock at sea, and Perseus saved her and married her. And then Poseidon was pissed off, so he tied Cassiopeia to a chair in the heavens so she'd be upside down half the time, rotating forever in the torture chair. And I was getting, again, the failure to launch movie, you know, where they're tied up until they get along. So here Cassiopeia is tied up right next to Cepheus in the sky, and he's in his castle because he's a house. That's his constellation. And seasoned stargazers was also coming up from the code line here, seeing the support of Cepheus and his castle, right, his kingdom, of Sagittarius A. There's this weird relationship between Cassiopeia, Cepheus, and Sagittarius A. But there's support here. The seasoned stargazers see the support of Cepheus to Sagittarius A. So I don't know if Cepheus literally caused her supernova disformation. And again, I was getting the numbers from yesterday of the 144, of the 1, and then the 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6, 7, 8, 9, meaning 144. Of the I-44, and then the two sections of the 1, and then the two sections of 4 numbers, and I brought this up when I brought the numbers up yesterday, the 2 in between the two sets of 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9 is 56, which brings those two together. And the 56 is that 2 of swords. And that literally came up here along with the 1 in the 56. And I-56 could be coming up here, but it's also the lowercase I coming up here, which for me is the chakra system with the third eye, is the dot. The 56 being in your knowing and keeping your energy clear or not telling. The energy of... so the DE of German and Deutsch was coming up, but also the acronyms of destroyer, escort. So there's just some kind of destructive escort escorting this piece of Cassiopeia down to Sagittarius A for a reason. And also delayed ejaculation came up here, which is very interesting because Cepheus is sitting right next to Cassiopeia all chained up, who's beautiful, and he's not allowed, he can't touch her because she's chained to the chair and he's hung in the sky as well. So it's a really weird dynamic between the three of them. So again, the three energies, but here being 2 men and a woman. And the stripped envelope supernova of 16 light years gas, without her consent, without grace, without orientation south or east, or in other words, having western side issues. I was also getting German PTSD issues here. Post-traumatic stress, support of the expansion of Sagittarius A, the Department of Crystals, so that could be going after crystals as well, or certain kind of elements in the planet, to tie down Cassiopeia, hold her position, to wait for Cepheus, who is suffering in silence. So yeah, it's really strange. There's so many parallels with the twin flame thing, but also regarding the dark fleets and what they're actually doing to the planets or constellations up there. And then Deer came up. So DE is also the company Deer, which has to do with farming supplies, machines, and things like that. And that's when a deer was on my front lawn as well, the young buck. So Deer came up with DE, D-E-E-R-E, where it was in the stock market coming up as gains, because it was having gains as the market dipped. But Zacks was still rating it number 2 as a buy now in a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the strongest buy and the 5 being don't buy, sell. So John Deere, of course, is the agricultural machines and lawn care in Moline, Illinois, is the headquarters. But also DE is Germany or Deutschland, and also Delaware, of course. So there could be a connection for all of those. Desktop environment. I was also getting diatomaceous earth. Diatomaceous earth. So there might be something about diatomaceous earth that is connected to that piece of Cassiopeia to Sagittarius A. And the light soil of siliceous diatom. It's coming up there as the remains used as filtering material or microabrasive. This diatomaceous earth. The DE was also coming up as destroyer, escort, like I said already, and delayed ejaculation, but also differential equation. And also DE means possessed by or composed by the two, the number two, to build, tall, high, and long. Yes, day, concerning where, to be, right, south, I, or as in the I am, and also to embroider or constrain, to tie down, to hold a position, to wait for, attain, or reach a point. And it's like Cassiopeia sitting there in that chair, you know, being held prisoner, waiting for her husband, Cepheus, to save her, and he's right next to her. It's that same energy of the twin energy. And then, also notice the house of Cepheus is a polygon, like the pentagon. It's that five-sided shape, but it's in the shape of a house, not the pentagon. Seasoned stargazers from earthsky.org, and then seeing the supernova after death test to see if you can get it to Sagittarius A. So Ethiopia used to be Philistia. That's the name of the place. So back when it was Cepheus, he was the king of Philistia, but it's now Ethiopia. Suffering, I was getting yesterday, Cepheus suffering in silence that he waited too long to come out of the house or the castle, which is the red supergiant there, the garnet star, which is part of Cepheus, to save her. And you notice in the sky, Cassia, here's what they look like next to each other. She looks like an E over here, or perhaps a lightning strike, and here's his house over here, where he's not saving her. The E is waiting for Cepheus to come out of the house or untie her. And so Cepheus and the Germans, again, having something to do with Cassiopeia's supernova, getting into Sagi. So the Knight of Cups reversed was the first card in the underlying energy. Okay, with the mini cards on top. And below that is the Indigo reversed, the Page of Wands upright, the Queen of Wands upright, the Nine of Wands upright, and the Ace of Swords upright. So the Indigo being insecure or perhaps folding in upon itself, taking back what was offered from the Page of Wands, Queen of Wands, and the Wounded Warrior, offering the truth that was always right there below the surface to the Knight of Cups, who's reversed here, who may feel rejected, the truth of rejection or jealousy here, with the King of Wands upright implementing a plan to tell the truth to the Ten of Cups reversed unhappy family that may be turning their world upside down, or to the Divine Feminine, the 5D, or Pisces reversed, or to dissatisfied neighborhood, community, or the entire world. With the Six of Wands upright, released from imprisonment of the Eight of Swords reversed, of the Ten of Pentacles family, business, or community of wealth or abundance here, as the Knight of Swords rushes in, perhaps Aquarius star or the Queen of Pentacles reversed, rushes in to the one knowing and not saying a word, and then letting go of their Scroogey ways, as the Hierophant and the Queen of Wands, which can be two different people or the same person. This can be a Taurus Queen of Wands or a Hierophant person with that energy, or the Queen of Wands as well. But the Queen of Wands may be someone who looks to her religious pillar for guidance. She doesn't do anything without looking to them, unable to keep secrets or needing to use their intuition, as the High Priestess reversed or secret passion, twin flame, is recovering here. Perhaps there was a hook in her third eye, perhaps by or put there, this could be some kind of hex or spell by the twins' ex, at 1141, And right this time too, I was hearing like a little animal making noises against my window, which I don't normally hear at night. I mean, there's no plants or anything really for them to get into, so it was kind of weird. But 1141 is justice and the 41 of the Ace of Cups. Or no longer with an aid or assistance, so now they need to do it for themselves. Or the Queen of Wands is with lack of integrity showing as choosing a dark past now, and then whatever her choices are right now are revealing something to the Divine Masculine is what I was getting. Going back to the one who let them go, or the Queen of Wands is looking the other way as secret passion or twin is recovering from exile, destitution, illness, or injury. Or sharing or settling out, or withholding and losing one's mind, or losing more money with the Page of Swords upright stepping up with a message here, and that can have to do with tax season as well. With the Nine of Pentacles reversed with a big expense or lost, or losing power, money, and independence, or losing one's mind, or with parent with dementia who's streaming dark energy, or the curtains open to see treasures, or dependent with Virgo in chart, sharing but withholding from dependent and or hermit reverse, which can be a parent who's having mental issues. But it also could just be someone feeling like they're going crazy or over isolating and now finally coming out, while the Page of Swords steps up to take a swing or to communicate a message, or bad financial news comes in but with a positive message. It wasn't said in a negative way, and again, it might just have to do with tax issues. So we have wedding here, and below that was deception, along with Gemini, Pisces, Virgo reversed, and Taurus upright here. And deception in a marriage, perhaps. Perhaps a man with two lovers dumps one suddenly, or Gemini reversed in a sudden jealous rage, or the Knight of Cups reversed Scorpio may be the jealous one. Perhaps in a breakup, disconnect, or at a distance. No more dessert and chocolates with Dark Priestess pretending to have the keys, or teasing the Emperor with keys regarding the house or the car, or the realtor flirting while dropping off the keys, or perhaps already dropped them off, with the Emperor stunned as trophy bride is stealing all the light, perhaps being naked to the world, as he sits in the spa, and then I'm getting Cepheus again, just sitting there in his house, not doing anything about it, while she gets all the attention for being tied up in a chair. Or deluxe throne here, right? This could be the Emperor sitting in his deluxe throne, which can be the bathroom, but maybe it's a beautiful, luxurious bathroom. At 12:10 is the Hanging Man and the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune. And then also throwing origamis all over the floor, perhaps bored and just making paper things. There could also be uneaten pomegranates or fancy fruits sitting on the floor being wasted. So no more big feet that turn in with bells on their toes and bat or cat at their feet, could be bat or cat, suddenly seeing someone for who they really are, suddenly dumping the Dark High Priestess or Pisces reversed as the Emperor can't believe his eyes or his knowing what she's been putting in his dessert and his pockets, with Gemini reversed, Pisces reversed, and Scorpio and Aries upright here. And then health was 71, which is the Three of Pentacles, which can be the workplace or a place of co-creation. Maybe that involves healthcare. And then below that, physical activity, which is the 67 of the Knight of Pentacles, the loyal, humble servant, is below the healthcare energies here. So the Knight of Pentacles is very physical, perhaps at the workplace or place of co-creation or of healthcare, and letting go to fix up or make amends to end the conflict or in a losing battle here. With news or clarity of letting go, the Divine Masculine's heart is free to leap in a final judgment or wake-up call or announcement to or about the Emperor reversed in a sudden event, epiphany, or sexual exchange, feeling depressed or in need of hope, healing, or being arrogant to deflect his suffering. The resistance, there's resistance to sudden change or a sudden event, or I'm just getting the supernova again right there, or the Emperor reversed is stepping down to heal or due to depression or abuse of power, or spontaneous orgasm with curtains open, or Aries upright and Scorpio reversed, and Aquarius perhaps upright and reversed here, or arrogantly trying to resist arousal or release upon freedom an announcement in twisting the wrong way. So this twist of fate went the wrong way. It wasn't supposed to go that way. For Aquarius and Aries reversed, or the Emperor reversed here. And it's so weird too, the way this came up just now. I was just listening to Michael Sala's interview with, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but I was just listening to his interview about the remote viewer regarding the military and his own company with remote viewers. And, you know, also, this might be the one, no, this is the one who did the 20 and back. But they were talking about, whichever video it was, because I think there's 2 different videos that I had open from Michael Sala's website. They were talking about the way they would see if, when they were remote viewing or they were astral traveling, when they wanted to know if they ran into an ET and they wanted to know if the ET could see them, they would imagine themselves being a supernova and really making their light flash really bright so that the ET could see them. And then if they recognized them, the ET would either laugh as a, you know, benevolent ET, or perhaps they would get a negative response from perhaps a dark ET. But either way, it didn't matter. Then the human would know they were seen or not seen. So I was getting that energy. So when he said that, I literally sent a supernova out to see if it might get recognized. So it's funny because I just did that supernova probably like an hour or 2 ago. And that's what this energy was coming in, as I just read. So again, with that sudden event with the Emperor reversed, some kind of sudden event, epiphany or sexual exchange, depressed or in need of hope, healing or being arrogant to deflect his suffering, perhaps resisting a supernova or sudden event or change, or the Emperor reversed stepping down to heal, or due to depression or abuse of power or spontaneous orgasm with curtains open, or Aries, Scorpio, and Aquarius here, or arrogantly trying to resist arousal or release upon freedom and announcement in a twist of fate but in the wrong way for Aquarius and Aries reversed, or Emperor reversed here. Depressed Knight of Cups reversed, which may be the same person as the Emperor. They could be 2 separate men or one and the same. It doesn't have to, and the Knight of Cups, I was thinking it was King of Cups, but it's not, it's the Knight. So Knight could be either one. So depressed Knight of Cups reversed, who may feel rejected or jealous, who definitely could be Scorpio here, or with Scorpio in their chart, may be recovering from exile or rejection or in jealous rage, with the Page of Swords message to or from the Emperor, or perhaps advertising that he's open again at work, perhaps after renovation. Then we have the Knight of Wands upright with the Knight of Cups reversed together, in a death, ending, or transition with the Queen of Swords reversed and the Wounded Warrior upright. And these could be kids, you know, dealing with a marital situation between their parents. There could be a Scorpio who's jealous of Sagittarius with the Queen of Swords reversed, or the Knight of Wands upright and the Knight of Cups reversed, maybe kids of the Queen of Swords reversed and the Wounded Warrior ending their relationship. So then we have the Page, we're still in the underlying energies, of the Page of Pentacles reversed in need of help, or opportunist, and then the King of Wands hanging out with the negative past of losing at fighting. Perhaps he wasn't a good fighter when he was young, but a fool for a higher love. Perhaps, you know, he was always the one saying, I'm a lover, not a fighter, but then was broken in to be a fighter, not a lover, because that's the way his father thought men should be. So again, a past of being a loser at fighting, but the fool for a higher love, with patience, angel, or in a wake-up call here, of instability, a move, a visit, or homecoming, or perhaps the falling apart or instability of a marriage, sharing or settling and detoxing the devil's passion, or perhaps they messed up, or being strong and standing up for themselves, standing their ground, perhaps a cheater getting shamed, with some dependent, maybe someone cheated with a dependent, or like is with someone who's an opportunist, just wanted to spend their money. That kind of energy is coming up as well. And that could be your child, you know, it doesn't have to be a separate person, but it can be someone that they were cheating with and spending money on, which I actually know someone who is experiencing that actually with their spouse. So the recent past here is the 12 at 12:51, which is the Hanging Man and the 51 of the King of Swords. The recent past is the 5 of Cups upright and the Knight of Cups reversed, depressed, sad, or grieving, or the shame of sudden event that knocked them for a loop and then walked away, standing up for their position to detox or put them in their place. And then having it out with them, without them, or heading on out without them, leading the way, inspired by an announcement or perhaps a song. 2, the Page of Pentacles reversed and the King of Pentacles reversed at 104, which is the Magician and the Emperor. Perhaps the Page and the King of Pentacles here are in disconnect or at a distance and being stubborn, or the Knight of Pentacles reversed may be resistant with them, and this could be a father and 2 children, or perhaps 2 parents and a child, and these could be pets as well. But it's the King of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, and then the Knight of Pentacles, they're all reversed. But the King and the Page are together, the Knight is separate and being resistant. So there's a need for peace here with the Page of Wands, without an offer, wanting to start over in love, unable to sleep at night, or just stressed out, or having nightmares and purging. And the foundation is the Ace of Pentacles reversed, perhaps saving for a new life, or withholding, or playing hardball, burdened with the weight and the world, as Atlas rising above, perhaps not sleeping, or awakening and coming out, in need of peace, as the Magician's reversed and the High Priestess is reversed, without the tools to manifest their magic act. So are they will the real Magician and High Priestess please stand up is what I'm getting. So I don't know if perhaps this is the Divine Masculine thinking his partner was that twin flame, to make their Magician and Magician's assistant partnership work out. But this is like this energy of realizing that they're not the person that they thought they were. And perhaps feeling tricked at their own, their own magic trick. Yeah, it's really weird the way it's coming up there. The central energy here is the Queen of Swords upright with a handle on the truth. The Fool free from imprisonment of the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, who may be stealing from the Empress behind their back, or no longer wanting to be put in a position as the Queen of Swords, may no longer want to be put in a position of biting the hand that feeds you. And again, this could be family putting pressure on someone in the family to sneak, the Empress could be the matriarch of the family here. It could be a family business type thing, or she's the big boss. So someone's stealing from the big boss and they're not family, that's really stealing. But the stealing could also be from a family member, which is still not right, but it's, it's a little bit different energy of one or the other. It's like the whole family is getting one person in the family to go, go get mom's thing from her house. She won't even notice that you're there. Go get it. It's that energy. But it could also be a big boss woman who's literally being stolen from, or perhaps her ideas are being stolen by the Ten of Pentacles family, business, or community. But now whoever was the Queen of Swords, it looks like, is now freed from that, being put in that position. Perhaps someone was stealing ideas from the Empress for the Ten of Pentacles family, business, or community, or running from the Empress to the safety of the Ten of Pentacles family, business, or community, but now freed from that trap, right? Because neither one, you shouldn't be relying on either one. It should be you doing what resonates with you and what's best for your highest good. So inspired by a wake-up call here, or judgment, or song, releasing the Page of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles, both reversed here, from partnering with the Knight of Pentacles reversed, or perhaps a stubborn Taurus. With Aquarius, Aries, and Taurus all upright here, and the Queen of Swords with the truth, challenged by the Knight of Pentacles reversed, rejection or offer, or refusing to help, move, or work, and the Ace of Cups upright with the Seven of Cups reversed, receiving a love offer out of the blue, or secret admirer, to dump multiple loads or emotional attachments to get clear on what it is that they want. Keeping to self, jealousy, and Scorpio reversed here again, and Dark Night dying or just dead tired, in broken relationship, or Cancer reversed and Gemini reversed, and dumping emotional attachments or multiple loads, no longer confused at night, or about Cancer, Queen of Cups reversed, sharing her codependencies with the Knight of Swords, Fool, who's now free. Perhaps for the Queen of Cups reversed, big love, third party through work, or in need of co-creating, but broke or broken in a two-bull split, grieving the Tower or sudden event with Hermit reversed, and the Wounded Warrior, the Queen of Pentacles reversed, and the Knight of Wands reversed. We have Cancer, Virgo, and Sag reversed here, and Scorpio upright. Perhaps a crazy person, or being deemed as or called the crazy person and the ungrounded player. That's the combination here. At 125, which is the Magician and the Knight of Wands. And now crowning is the Knight of Swords upright. So we have the Queen of Swords in the middle upright, and then here's the Knight of Swords crowning above her. with 5D message offering passion to the past perhaps, or perhaps to the future, and the Queen of Swords talking truth, or destined Knight of Swords and Queen of Swords to a higher love, breaking patterns and starting over in love in need of hope. With the Ace of Swords, or the truth, the whole truth of detox, unstable home, and the Page of Cups upright with justice, or message of love to Libra, healing broken heart, or surgery and recovering from exile, injury, or illness. No more looking castrated, trying to mark their territory, because now the party's over. With sassy Sagittarius with attitude, perhaps mixing up some drinks or potions. Perhaps the patient angel with potions with the Page of Cups, unable to express their feelings or not allowed to express their feelings, to come together with a choice to make, or twin feeling badly as the King of Swords with no fantasy, destined to face their own fears, or perhaps their worst fears. At 143, which is the Magician and coming together, their worst fears of facing themselves in the mirror. And that always reminds me of Tom Cruise for some reason. Back a long time ago, you know, when he was married to Mimi Rogers, somebody interviewed him. And his mother told him to go take a good look in the mirror or something like that. You have to decide who you want to be. And it was something about, you know, when he went into his next marriage or something. I don't know why he's coming up. And again, facing themselves in the mirror. But also, you know, that brings up the man in the mirror with Michael Jackson as well. But also just the twin flame mirroring here, or any human for that matter. And then soon here is the Six of Cups reversed, of the falling out in the past, the bad memories or a bad childhood, or perhaps the past returning now, or dealing with kids who are having issues or difficult children, or issues at work with exhaustion and the dark night and jealousy or rejection and moodiness, with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, receiving the Knight of Swords upright, perhaps Aquarius or Star and the Queen of Wands overworked, or a sister and suffering in silence, or unable to sleep, unable to sleep, but satisfied in healing and forgiving the King of Swords, or the Queen of Wands stealing his limelight as the man now in the background, as the Knight of Swords delivers a message or delivery to the Queen of Pentacles reverse. I actually did get a delivery today. Scorpio reversed and Aquarius upright. Perhaps Leo is here too. Twin flames here as the Six of Swords reversed, in need of peace, and the Hierophant is upright with the Hanging Man upright, or Jesus hung out to dry, you know, as Easter's coming up, or Taurus upright, Pisces or Capricorn upright, and again the energy, they know not what they do. As the Emperor's upright with kids, Leo, or Sun and Fun, or exposing all, Church versus State, as well as Herod and Pilate. As the Knight of Wands reversed and the King of Cups reversed, the player and the manipulator, or Sagittarius reversed and Scorpio reversed, or somebody fell off the wagon and is depressed or alcoholic and wanting to start over in love. Paralyzed by passions and emotionally unavailable, that could be two separate people, but no longer bored, in need of peace, with Taurus upright, Pisces or Capricorn upright, Aries and Leo upright, and Sagittarius reversed here. I have flirt and separation, as the Hierophant is hanging out with the flock, or perhaps new perspectives, and the Emperor with kids, or Leo or ego, and the Knight of Wands reversed falling short, the King of Cups reversed with his conditions. Around the twins are how they're seen as the King of Wands, shaman, perhaps with an unstable home with difficult children, or moving or visiting, or difficult homecoming, or the party's over in a heated exchange, not expressing their true feelings about the past, returning, with lots of fire here, all Aries, Leo, and Sagi, and perhaps Pisces and Scorpio too, with that jealousy mixing up or adding to the fire. And the block here being Strength card upright, breaking through that ring of fire, right? The birthing with a rebel yell is the block of having that kind of strength. The Nine of Swords upright, the Wounded Warrior upright, and the Nine of Cups upright, and the suffering in silence, defending of words and wounds, and pleasantly arrogant, Knight of Wands reversed, in all business relationship that's not working out, in a losing battle of spying and cheating, and the moon at night, and romance taming the beast, in bliss of receiving love or feeling blessed from God, destined to a sudden epiphany, events, or emotion, or the sexual exchange here. With the Hermit reversed, the Wounded Warrior upright, the Queen of Pentacles reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed, which can be the same people. The Hermit reversed can be the Queen of Pentacles reversed, and the Wounded Warrior can be the Knight of Wands reversed, destined for the King of Swords to face their fears, or Libra, Scorpio, and Cancer, Virgo, Leo person. We have Cancer upright and the Hermit reversed, not reflecting the Lovers reversed, without affection, and powerless in sudden exchange, epiphany, or sexual exchange, with guidance or Hierophant destined, and Cancer, Scorpio, and Taurus upright, with Virgo and Gemini reversed. We also have Sag reversed there, Libra, Leo, and Scorpio upright at 207, which is the High Priestess and the Chariot. Okay. So now we're going to do the Metatron read, which I actually decided to pull some of the Wild Unknown Tarot mini cards here today, the Pocket Tarot. So I did the Metatron read, but I also did clarifiers with that deck. So here is the Metatron read, and it's 50-50 basically for a timestamp if you want to put it in there. If not, I will do it. Okay, so there is the Metatron read, and then there's 3 pages of clarifiers because I did them separately. That's one, and then I clarified here, and then one more. Okay, so those are all the clarification cards of the same read. And again, today's the 12th. The 12 is the Hanging Man. The day adds up to 22, which is a 4. It's also the Fool and the Fool's Journey, along with the Hanging Man. Right? The Fool with an open heart, taking a leap of faith, and the Hanging Man, which again, Easter's coming up this week. So it's being both at the same time, right? That perfect bliss state, as well as being hung out to dry. And again, the rising of Jesus off the cross, or just getting down and going to live his life, which comes up in my, this is very much about the south of France and Rennes-le-Château, the Mary Magdalene and the Master Builders. But, they also talk about the Cathars and what is believed to really happen with Mary Magdalene and Jesus and having their daughter Sarah. Okay, so this Metatron read was done at 11 a.m. this morning. And the bottom of the deck was the air card. And all 4 elements came up today. That never happens. But all 4 came up. As far as the colors, we have white, green, orange, silver, and then also indigo and yellow came up. So we do not have red, so we don't have the root chakra, but we have orange and yellow. We have green of the heart. We have indigo, but not the throat chakra. And then we have white, which is really, governing the crown. The white is white is the same basically as the violet energy. It's the all-encompassing rainbow colors. But we don't have the throat chakra and the root chakra coming up here, and they're connecting. Right? The safety and security issues and the inability to speak because of fear. And so the underlying energy here is at 11:05. And lots of Gemini has been coming up for me this week. 11:05 is Justice and the 5 of the Hierophant, which is Libra and Taurus. And the underlying energy of the Hermit, and perhaps a move or having more it's calling the Hermit to get moving, right? So, but it's about moving on the cold earth, to get out and put your feet on the cold earth and get out in the fresh air, to run with the big birds, the shadow aspect, where the land meets the sea, meets the sky, meets the I am. And 9, 18, and 13 were coming up in the cards here in the underlying energy, and 9/18 is my birthday. And then the time came up right after this at 11:45, which is the time of my birth. So it has to do with aligning with the perfect timing of the transition here, which is coming here. Literally, it was coming up as the transition of your birth, the human transition of the bird to fly free. And the land was coming up as the cube, or the hexahedron. The air was coming up as the octahedron, or the 8. And then the water was coming up next as the first card out in the read as the icosahedron. Remember, I matter, and that continuous honoring of oneself and how important water is to us. And remember, water is packed with oxygen, more so than air. It's just the air is probably clearer than the water air. So how important water is to us with the icosahedron and the 20 faces, and then of course the cosmos comes up with the ether energy of 12 faces, and the fire comes up with the tetrahedron of 4 faces, which is the 3-sided pyramid. And it was coming up as the human, bird, dolphin breed. So again, the lineage of Lyran, being birds and lions, or cat people, is coming up, the bird lineage here is coming through as the dolphins. The hermit, with the moon reversed, the death reversed, the 8 of Wands reversed, and the world upright here, perhaps after dark night, death, ending, or transition, or new moon here, an early rise with sleep, after an energetic exchange, that all is right with the world and feeling complete. But Cancer and Scorpio may be reversed in a heated exchange with Pisces, or delays in communication or travel. Or Cancer reversed in Scorpio may not be feeling or expressing the love with Pisces, or the divine feminine or world. Or High Priestess reversed, or Pisces is not using their intuition with a secret passion perhaps, and or in need of their mother of the Queen of Cups and the son of the Knight of Pentacles to come visit them. Or mother and son seem to be on the same page, contrary to the daughter or Pisces. When they're down, she's up, and when she's down, they're up. Or by 9/18, the hermit will be free to fly. The hermit with Big Bird and Mother Earth are transitioning, perhaps to water, to the dolphins, and the diamond light and well-being. The Mother Earth withholding or saving for the Knight of Wands or fun travel to let go a bit, perhaps of the nightmare and stress, to vibe high, to get attention or bring good news and big love, giving and receiving. And again, this could be lots of plans with children or vacations coming up, perhaps plans with children and or vacation, but with lack of affection. So the wounded warrior surrenders to the Mother of Pentacles, which is the Queen of Pentacles, and she's coming up here as her and her baby fawn. And that was coming up as the sun the other day. So it could be the mother and son energies, which are coming up as being on the same page here, whereas the daughter's opposite from them. Frustrated King of Pentacles reversed, maybe in need of peace too, but if the Queen of Pentacles perhaps is going with their children, maybe he won't be able to meet up with her, so he may be frustrated, not knowing if the Queen of Pentacles is going away with the kids. At work with the Emperor and the Page of Wands, or Daughter of Wands, what is the Emperor without an heir? So again, that energy is coming up again. Perhaps 2 single parents are coming together with their children for a trip, with the Queen of Pentacles upright, with the Queen of Cups and Knight of Cups, and the King of Pentacles reversed with the Knight of Wands and Page of Wands, so much more fiery children, or perhaps younger children. And this then came up at 11:45, which is the time of my birth, or Hermit, Virgo, and Cancer and or Scorpio take a trip to the beach. And like I said, a lot of Gemini energy was coming up well. Not coming up well, but they are, yeah, they're coming up well, but we're just coming up in general today, which is that Magician energy. So perhaps July is for Hermit and cuddling with Pisces, and August is with the Knight of Wands for self-satisfaction, with devilish connection, Justice of Lovers, and the 2 of Cups, literally you guys. A devilish connection with Justice upright, Lovers, and the 2 of Cups, all upright together coming out here. And Capricorn and Libra perhaps going Dutch, perhaps going into an event but paying for themselves, or going on vacation with kids, or just with each other but splitting the bill. Perhaps, and then just the 2 of us, we can make it if we try, just the 2 of us, you and I. So that was coming up at 11:50 to 51, which is Justice of the 50 of complete emotional fulfillment and family fulfillment, and then the 51 of the King of Swords. And notice that it brought up going Dutch, so the Deutschland thing was coming up again. So again, perhaps July is for hermiting and cuddling with Pisces, August with the Knight of Wands and self-satisfaction, with devilish connection, Justice or Lovers, and the 2 of Cups, or Capricorn and Libra go Dutch. And again, just the 2 of us. Happy family with the King of Swords after justice having grieved the past, now ready to go on or move forward. Perhaps grounded through 9/18, but I was also getting that it might get really cold after 9/18 this year. So if you're planning a trip in September, they were saying the 13th of September to the 18th may be a really good time to do it, because at the 18th, it may get really cold through October 13th. And then free to fly again at Ophiuchus, which was coming up. That's the 13th sign, which is around November 29th to December 17th. So that will be another really positive time. So then water, water, water for emotional well-being. For the Hermit, and Pisces and Virgo perhaps gets really cold, like I said, 9/18, so take advantage of 9/13 to 18, and then again nice in the sign of Ophiuchus from 11/29 or 30 to December 17th. And remember, with the new 13 months, Scorpio is only 1 week. It's the Thanksgiving week, 11/23 to 11/29. So you can look that up, but they're going to be slightly different. Like I have the calendar from that Mary Magdalene book, which is different. When I just looked it up from yearlyhoroscopes.org, the cutoff dates were a little bit different, but they were exactly the same for Libra, Scorpio, and Ophiuchus. Those were the same exact dates, but the other ones stop and start at slightly different times depending on who you're getting the source from. But it changes everybody's signs. My sign doesn't change, but it changes a lot of people's signs according to the new 13th sign. So healing, deception, or third party in May, perhaps standing up for self, 2 or 4 flame. Perhaps a lot of beach time in July and August with new passion off work, or healing after quitting or ending a situation. As above, so below, reflecting compassionate new love, the Emperor upright and the King of Cups reversed, and the 6 of Cups with the Page of Wands after sudden event that was destined. Perhaps Cancer and Taurus with new love, and using emotions to speak and be heard. With self-love, spiritual love, and new love here, the High Priestess taking time out in the purple moon, or that 0-point field. Beacon, shine your light, grounding, integrating, and mastering, receiving of love, or going to the gym perhaps. Perhaps including a wave, hello, from the Knight of Swords, pure white, wing, and diamond light. So like waving with their angel wing. It was really cool how it was coming up. The Queen of Wands upright and the King of Pentacles upright, with Gemini or Virgo, or perhaps Aries reversed, or the Magician reversed who's insecure or being manipulative, perhaps at war, or get like that when they're in fear. They get really, on guard. Perhaps with a new passion, though, here for growth and creativity, or offered from the Queen of Swords reversed and the Queen of Cups upright, or new passion to use love to put the Queen of Swords reversed in her place. The Queen of Swords reversed definitely could be Gemini here, and there could be a male and female Gemini, but it looks like the male's coming up upright, whereas the feminine Queen of Swords Gemini is coming up reversed. Or the King of Swords upright and the Queen of Swords reversed are at war, with the Queen of Wands supporting the Queen of Swords reversed, or that might be the Queen of Cups actually, maybe supporting the Queen of Swords reversed, but the Queen of Wands and the King of Pentacles are staying out of it. It's like the King of Swords isn't getting any support, but he's upright. The High Priestess and the King of Swords may be learning to receive love by standing strong and just being love in their own right. The High Priestess in 0-point, arcing to the Whispering Bench, where the plasma or water plasma meets the air ether, where they transform to each other, with space between, in the energetic exchange, flying free, going with the flow, 1 to 1, 2 as 1, from 7 to 13, or from July to Ophiuchus. And that could definitely be like that energy of Cancer, and July 22nd is coming up as very significant. So perhaps it could be July 13th being significant here too. But I was getting initially the period of July through Ophiuchus, which is through December 17th. So the second half of the year may be really significant here for 2 as 1. So I feel like people are going to be working out some issues in May. And in June, you may be spooning. And July was definitely cuddling with Pisces, right? And then it's more passionate in August. And then there's going to be more family-oriented stuff. But again, it might get really cold after September 18th. So that's kind of like a forecast being given to you guys. So with the Knight of Cups in the green room, there may be heart healing with the Emerald Order and sudden replenishment with the heart of gold, lighting up infinitely. As the King of Swords is detoxing chaos, as the Knight of Cups and being love. And then at 1240, which is the Hanging Man and the Page of Cups, which is very much Jesus energy. After the sudden event, epiphany, or sexual exchange with the Empress, abundance or opening of heart, and taking a leap of faith as a new chick, or the Chariot perhaps. The feminine within, the masculine ascending together. So at 1240, which is the Hanging Man and the Page of Cups, going with the flow, 1-to-1, down the salty river to meet the fresh one, which is the baptism of Mary Magdalene, where the salt and the fresh waters meet. But here the fresh one's coming up as a sassy Page of Swords reversed, perhaps absolutely Aquarius right here, or perhaps Aquarius by the new timelines with Ophiuchus, and the Hermit reversed bringing good news and leading the way to transform, with self-satisfaction for the Emperor reversed, where the Emperor reversed with codependencies, and the Knight of Swords helping to change their perspective, perhaps within the family tree. And this could be a child coming clean to their Emperor reversed father too, who may actually be going through some kind of sickness or injury or surgery or something like that. And so since he's weak and can't be his normal fiery self, it might be a good opportunity for a child to approach him about his true self. And he can't do anything about it, right? Because he's kind of, glued to his chair or his bed or whatever the situation might be. So again, conquering your fears with the family tree, one step at a time. At work, there may be injustice for Father of Wands reversed, right? So if someone's sick or got injured, maybe there's something unfair where the workplace lets them go because they're out too long. Or, again, like I said, it could be a father with dealing with their children, coming out to them or about issues they might have. And the numbers we're coming up is 42, 53, and 17, which is the Two of Cups, the Knight of Swords, which can be a delivery or messenger, but it's usually more in person than like mail. And then the 17 is the Star of healing and shining your light, of dreaming or having dreams come true, of the Two of Cups and the Knight of Swords. That also could be Aquarius energy there. So there's definitely arcing here or bridging with new inspiration, 1-to-1 as the Knight of Swords, as a catapult, or the Knight of Swords is a catapult to your dreams. But I was also getting asphalt here, so somebody might finally get in touch with someone to do their driveway. But that's coming up for sure, and I can relate with that for sure. 1-to-1, the Knight of Swords, as a catapult, or a catapult to your dreams. Something more. Bridging to the Queen of Swords, Big Bird, for building blocks about the rainbow chakra system, or perhaps to learn from someone who you know knows about that stuff. Or arcs of light and triangles, or trying new angles, and the wind beneath your wings. And again, breaking down words of like wind and wings, of the two U's in W, and the in and the DS, or the GS of the God self here. Of white and gold, of the gold and white light, of transitioning or being I God, or I transitioning to the road, path, or R&D, of research and development, of the cosmos, or the wake-up call of galactic proportions, and the fire dragon who has wings too, they just might look a little different, of sun and strength, but it may be a bad time for them to come together right now. To get over the Page of Wands, or perhaps a fiery daughter, or Leo, or strong child who's getting over a loss, regret, guilt, or shame about something, with the Queen of Wands, needing to be strong and release to the dragon sun. So there's father and daughter energy coming up here, and then mother and son. And here the mother needs to release her frustrations to the son, who now is old enough or strong enough to handle that. So she actually has someone to lean on now if she doesn't have a husband, right? And it's the same with the father, who now has this younger daughter, but this daughter may happen to be really strong or very awakened. And this is someone that a father can open up to, so it can go both ways. But the Queen of Wands is specifically being guided here to stretch and lunge, really to do stretches to release some stuck energy and release it up to the sun. Perhaps call your son or talk to them. Or release that stuck energy to the dragon sun up above. Or the Queen of Wands and Page of Wands could be siblings. And the Warrior of Light exposing the truth from their emotions. Right? Because the Swords energy doesn't usually show a lot of emotions, right? They're more technical, they're more articulate. Whereas the Queen of Wands and the Page of Wands, they could really get a fiery emotion. So The warrior of light may be learning how to speak from their emotions more than their truth, and imprisoned by thoughts, because they're looking peaceful on the outside as the Six of Swords, but they're hiding that seventh sword, right? They're keeping one eye opened, right? Whenever you have that secret, that's a fear that something might happen. Keeping a sword to yourself just in case, or their ace in the hole, there may be some kind of deception of self here, as their home looks to be a prison here to them, but they don't realize it, or feeling unsafe there, needing to defend themselves. Maybe if you don't trust a family member, you can't live like that. Keeping secrets just in case someone wants to hurt you while you're sleeping. It's kind of like that energy. Perhaps needing to go to Akashic Records to review, or the High Priestess to end suffering in silence, or dealing with a sister in stress, with energetic exchange fed by the lightning arc, or a stroke of bliss, plugging them in to clarity, but at the same time, you can lose balance when that happens. Seeing synchronicities, or seeing all their choices and getting confused on which is the right one, because there's so many good ones. And the time for the wounded warrior reverse to surrender to the Knight of Pentacles, or to the Sun, and share. Again, the calling the mother to release her frustrations with a loving, older, loyal son, okay, who's grown up. And then the indigo, the indigo child who's feeling very whole and complete, and they're very awakened here, knowing the star is out there, is actually a dodeca ship of the Ten of Cups and positivity. The Galactic Federation of Worlds was specifically coming up here. When all is said and done, indigo child, which comes up as more of the masculine energy, whether you're female or male, it's the masculine energy, choosing Mary Magdalene, the Queen of Cups, as the lovers and the Two of Cups both upright here together, the Mother of Pentacles, or that loving mother energy with rainy day savings, and the indigo and the Queen of Cups, or that Jesus and Mary Magdalene energy, pausing to receive healing. Or while indigo works with the Galactic Federation, the Queen of Cups, or Mary Magdalene energy, prepares their nest when there's not much sun out to go and play, by healing the light body, powering up, and pausing to receive as well. Perhaps the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles come together to heal each other. Or the busy carpenter bee is sent to pollinate joy and lightness while the masculine's away. The buttercup, yellow buttercup, reflected from the brightness of the sun, transiting chaos, or transmuting chaos, and blending light and dark with that shadow pack to transmute for later, perhaps to work on it later, or fuel supply to go on the road and travel on. At 110, again, saving up for later. You don't want to save too much, but it is fine to have, some savings, or some extra gas, or, the kind of energy that they're talking about. You don't want a backpack is fine, but more than that's going to weigh you down. So that's the energy that's coming up regarding whatever you're holding on to. At 110 is the blending the light and dark and the shadow pack for later, to work on the fuel supply to go on the road or travel on together. And then at 111 of the Magician and Justice, or alignment, the cards were literally 1 and 31, which equals 32. As the Page of Cups stands up for themselves, receiving big love in return from the Son of Swords here, who may be impatient to make peace with the Page of Pentacles reversed, or Daughter of Pentacles, who may need help to implement a plan, perhaps after being left behind by the Knight of Wands, to heal from death and or bliss as well. And again, both sides of the coin. The worst case scenario and the best case scenario, in order to come back to the middle and be balanced. So at 113, which is the Magician 13 of the Death card, or transition, now the worst is over, and the bat can now hang out and perhaps grow a tree and be breaking patterns and resting in 5D connection with clarity, grounding, integrating, and mastering the receiving of love, or perhaps at the gym as the Father of Cups of unconditional love, perhaps home or in union and released from the Nine of Pentacles reversed, powerlessness, or others spending all their money, and the Ten of Wands reversed, dropping all their burdens or confessing the weight off of their shoulders, present to flames, beautiful light within, and the need for clarity and the truth to be told, and now recognizing that that's what they need. At 117, the Magician and the Star. The underlying energy was all about run, grow, fly. The first column was swim, reflect, leap, and go with the flow 1 to 1. Radiate your light body to clear the waters. So again, bless the waters every time you walk by or every time you drink. The second column was about speak, shine, heal, and deliver healing to others as well. The third column being reflect compassion, purity, and innocence. Your love light, patience, especially with self, and worker bees. As the Queen of Cups, Mary Magdalene, and the Carpenter Jay are healing each other in coming together. Okay? So that could be you coming together with your twin right now, or it could be just right now, and doesn't mean you're not coming together with your twin, but there's definitely unions coming together this year. It's like a huge time for the twins coming together. But there could be someone who stands in to do some clearing with you, like someone who comes to work on your house or anything like that, where it's like a dynamic which could clear something regarding your twin while they're off working with the Galactic Federation or something in another timeline. You know, because there could be energies dispersed in that way, which is why they were limited during the journey. So let's go ahead and pull a few cards. Let's see what comes up from the regular Animal Spirit deck. Take a deep breath. It's 4:11 on the clock, so urgent information's coming here. 1:16:04 here, which is the 16's coming up again of the 16 light year wide gaseous supernova from Cassiopeia. And the Magician embodiment and the 4 of the Emperor, did I say? It's still 4:11 on the clock, and we got the horse on the bottom of the deck. That's Mr. Ed, Sagittarius A. And we have the gazelle and the moth, right? The moth can't resist the flame, and the gazelle is so elegant and graceful and unaffected here. How could the moth resist them? And there's the elk. Somebody's hot for somebody. And that's so funny, right? Because I had the deer in my front lawn. There's a wolf here too. He can't believe his eyes. There's a couple more coming in to be seen. Hold on. All right, so just these guys here. Oh, well, actually, it's going to go to the deer. The bottom of the deck now is the bear. So it went from the horse to the bear. Okay. So who you're cuddling with, or the mama bear, or perhaps the pushy bear. So we have this energy of these two, okay? Somebody might be hot or hot-headed regarding the moth. It's like a moth to the flame. He can't resist the gazelle over here. And the wolf cannot believe what they're seeing. He's like, really? Are you serious? And then here we have the panther over here. He may be stunned and not saying anything, but this one's definitely saying something because they're dark energy. And then we have the unicorn coming in, who's the gate holder for the etheric realms, to make sure that the dark panther over here, right, doesn't cause too much havoc here. And then we have the little mouse here, who's a little bit nervous about all that's going on, which is why they're standing behind the unicorn over here. And the star of the show, as the stingray comes in, lighting everything up, plugged in to everything here, and very activated, fully activated. And they're plugged in to the collective awakening from the side, not from the top down, but from the side on the same level with the rest. Awakening of the world on the ground level with each other, right? So it's face to face and no one's above each other. This is someone really plugged in with what's going on with the world. And this could be a child, right? So here is the divine feminines, you know, like the etheric gate holders working with their children to keep them in the know about what's going on with the world, because they're really connected. And then we have the deer over here. And again, the two ends are these two here, which look like they go together, don't they? And again, there's kind of like 6 degrees of separation here. So the gazelle is getting a lot of attention here, perhaps from some hot-headed people, or perhaps a redhead. Or again, the elk is the one who if he doesn't eat right, he's a bear, so you don't want that bear coming out. If he eats right, he's supposed to be an amazing father in person. But he cannot resist this energy over here. And the wolf can't believe their eyes. And the panther has something to say about it. But the collective divine feminines, they got a hold of this. Don't worry about that panther. And they got their kids on their side, keeping them tapped in to the collective. as the dear one here and the gazelle. Okay. So it's like someone coming in, like I said, to perhaps help you clear a wound. It doesn't have to be a relationship. It can just be something that you're doing with a certain person or meeting a new person, that maybe you have one conversation with someone and clear something for you. So anyway, it's like stand-ins coming in to clear for you if the masculine's not there for you right now. And a lot of the clearing will be from children who are really plugged into the mainframe here with the collective, right? So it could be more than one child, or this could be the mom, this could be a child, right? So maybe there's all this other energy they're getting through. Okay, and this could be dealing with going online with the collective divine feminines here too. This could be a masculine, you know. But again, here's that mother energy with the kids. And the dear ones getting older as well, right? Coming into their own. So again, the mother being able to talk to the son and vice versa, as that buck came on my lawn the other day. That the children aren't just your children anymore. They're actually people you can go to for information and learn from, right? For the awakening of the world. So yeah, it's very interesting the way the cards are coming up here. I love that wolf card. How stunned they are. And it could be too, like someone goes through all these different people when they should have just gone to their son in the first place, or their daughter in the first place. Why did you need to try all these other people outside of here when you can come to me? So, and also you see the difference between, you know, the mouse is, there's nothing wrong with the mouse, but they're little and they're scared, right? They have a lot of anxiety here about being the star of the show. They're scared to be in the limelight. They get really nervous. But the deer is very calm. They don't get nervous at all. So who is it that you're dealing with? And who is it should you go to? Who now, whereas before you couldn't talk to anyone, now it's like your children are totally getting it. They know everything you went through. And they totally get it because now they're older too. And maybe now they've gone off to do their own thing and have a completely different perspective. And maybe it's something new to teach you. And be there for you at the same time, which could be a wonderful present, right? And again, the mama bear is coming up at the bottom of the deck. Let's see what's underneath there. And there's the scorpion sting, the jealousy of the Scorpio. It's funny because my son's Scorpio. But if you look at the new chart, like there's so many people around me. I'm still Virgo in the new chart. But everyone around me, like my son, there's a whole bunch of people all of a sudden who fall into Virgo because it's a big section Virgo in the new calendar. But again, and we have Dolphin here too, which for me is more Pisces. That can be Scorpio too. And then we have Sagittarius here with the horse, which is Ophiuchus energy or Sagi energy. That could be the two of them actually. This could be Sagi and Ophiuchus as the tiger actually. And there's the fish of Pisces. So you have Pisces, Scorpio, and then Sagi and Ophiuchus here. Very interesting the way they're coming up. And the horse and the tiger camp the other day too, they're really a powerful duo, right? They're really paying attention here. I'm not sure who they are. I mean, that can represent, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Source energy there. We also have the dolphin, which is amazing energy, which came up in the read as well. And actually one of my best friends who's a Scorpio comes up as dolphin when I pull cards for her. So that can be a Scorpio. But we also have Pisces here for sure. And Sagi. And again, if the tiger's coming up as Ophiuchus, the white bangle. Interesting, I never got that before. Okay, but that's the underlying energies. So the mama bear. Yeah, both. Getting the dolphin is Scorpio and Pisces. Actually, my son has Scorpio and Pisces in his chart. There's also Sagi coming up with Ophiuchus. I know my daughter, she's Pisces with Sagi. She's got a lot of stuff in her chart. Let's see. Oh. All right, let's go to the journey of love. love my babies. It's so weird to think of your kids, though, as different signs than you always knew they were. Now, my daughter would be the same. She wouldn't change, but my son would be under Virgo. He's a Scorpio, which would be really interesting. I could see him as a Libra because he's Libra rising, but that would bring him to Virgo, actually, which I get totally. I see that side. All right, see the journey of love. Journey of love. The space between the words. Okay, and there's the 24 again of the Queen of Wands. And she is upright in this read. But she's also coming out needing to stretch and lunge to release the stuck energies, the space between, right? That stuck energy that's holding stuff that isn't serving you. And then riding the wave here with the 60, which is the 6 of Swords, and finding peace. And just going with the flow, right? Leaving some space. Don't worry about the too deep energies here, right? Someone might be painting a pretty picture for you, but just allow that. That's fine. If they want to, if they're lying to you, let them lie to you, or if that's their perspective and you don't agree with it, that's fine too. If it's a 2D perspective, that's okay. Just go with the flow and ride the wave. Allow the peace right now. The yin yang lover, this is someone bending over backwards to do the dance. All right, you don't have to try so hard. Here's the shifting universe of the different musical symbols and letters and all that kind of stuff. The gears that are shifting. So you don't have to bend over backwards, so to try so hard. Just be you. But this is also referencing being flexible, right? Now this is flexible too, but you don't have to break your back either. Okay, just because something's two-dimensional, maybe you're thinking that you have to work extra hard to pull that energy up. But again, just go with the flow. Ride the salt water or the fresh water to meet up with the other water flow. The yin-yang lover. Right? Of bending over backwards perhaps when you need to, when they're not there. Or shifting, allowing the shifting universe is here. Oh, it was bringing up, you know how, don't step on the crack, it'll break your mother's back. That's what I was getting right now. In the shift. Right? So the crack in the sidewalk happened to release the pressure of a shift. It's not a negative thing. It's just like the broken heart. It had to break in order to expand. It's the same thing with the basement, right? When you get a new basement, you're told, well, you might get some cracks in the basement because it's going to shift and expand. It's that same type of energy that's coming up here. To allow it to shift and bend. It's okay. Allow it to be bendable. It doesn't have to be something fixed. Don't be so fixed that it will break. Allow yourself to be more bendable in the shifting universe, and you won't break. The spiral dance of the goddess. That's so funny because I just put some things in. I had some broken mirrors in a structure in the basement, and I was looking for something to cover them up, and some, that would be easy and not expensive to do, but would look nice. And so I was just getting those energies regarding the shifting universe. Because they're more, what I got was more pliable. It wasn't fixed or hard. It was very easy to mold around something. So it's that same kind of energy of being flexible and easy to bend. The spiral dance of the goddess in the 29 is being present in the moment. But I always get strangling of the ovaries here. Because it's got that gangrene color of olive. It can be very positive of olive oil as well. And like I always say, this black ribbon, I have a ribbon like this tied around my lamp, literally sitting next to me. But again, it can be the strangling of the ovary of the feminine energy. Don't strangle yourself, right? Stay flexible, right? When you resist, doesn't it get tighter? So stop resisting and just go with the flow. Again, we're not attaching, we're not resisting. We're just staying in the middle. We're allowing everything. Being present in the moment. Being present to your gifts and to the pleasures of the moment that Mother Nature gives you every day. And the sun, of the feminine energy of the sun here. The fiery part of the feminine. And it's bringing up feminine body parts, right? The ovaries are coming up here. There's a breast here. It's like so military right here, right? Got blood and fatigue, colors. The warrior of the feminine, right, of the mother, who has to feed the world, who has to bear children. And then here's the void, the next card, as where everything, see how similar the cards are? They're all that same kind of energy of the, you know, fallopian tubes and opening up to the ovaries or going back to the uterus. And again, this is like the child growing, or just when it first gets seeded and coming together, the egg and the sperm. And then not only birthing, but the needing to feed the child as well. This is the divine feminine warrior, the Shakti energy. And then here's the void, where then all of a sudden everything's clear, like going through all this craziness of birthing a child. And then all of a sudden, anyone who's given birth knows, like, as soon as the baby's out, it's like, oh, it's all done. Like, how'd that happen? Like being in that void space of like, oh, that bliss of the swords all falling out after delivering a child. Okay, so, and then we have the bride offering herself. Now she's totally unaffected. After having gone through a birth, she stands in that chaos of the twister. And she's like, tea, anyone? Why are you guys all freaking out? It's no big deal. So again, it's, you know, when we go through those traumas of life, we realize what's important and what's not important. And we realize the things to fear and not to fear, you know. You don't need to fear at all, because we don't actually die, but you know what I mean. So here again is the first card out, the 2D energies of the Queen of Wands, the space between the words. So somebody might be painting a pretty picture, or again, that stuck energy in you may be painting this 2D picture. I mean, you don't even realize it's stuck in your energy. So if you just stretch and release some of that, you may be getting rid of this you didn't even know you had in the spaces between your cells, or between the words is coming up here as well. So, and also, you know, don't take the word so seriously, right? In the spaces, this is the assumption of what somebody meant. And it can come out as very 2D, but maybe that's not what they meant at all. So just ride the wave, go with the flow, be more flexible, don't kill yourself, but be more flexible, don't break, right? If you're really structured and resistant, you're going to break. Whereas if you bend, you're not going to break. When the universe shifts, or when the basement shifts, or when anything normally shifts that might crack. If you put something on there that's pliable, it's going to go with the flow. Okay, and then again, regarding how the mother, look how flexible the mother is, you know, regarding receiving the seed, and then, you know, her body, she's receiving the sex, right? Because for a feminine, it's having sex inside of her body. For the masculine, it's outside of himself. Giving birth to a child, and then being empty without child, the void of having lost a child, and then standing in the chaos of the world and saying, where'd everybody go? Where'd everybody go? It's no big deal. It's fine. Everything's fine. Okay. So let's go ahead and see the gazelle. Where are you? The gazelle is under fire. Where'd you go? Here she is. Heightened awareness and ability, and vulnerable. The gazelle represents supreme grace. With every move, this awe-inspiring beauty emits sophistication and elegance. The gazelle personalities are often hyper-aware of their surroundings, bordering on hyper-vigilant, which is like that Six of Swords, or the Seven of Swords card I was telling you about, where it's Six of Swords looking like they're really peaceful on the outside, but they have a seventh sword hidden, just in case someone attacks them. And this can inhibit them from enjoying the beauty they've spent so much effort cultivating. No more worrying about all those predators out there in the wild. When this card appears, it's time to get back to the present moment. Sit down, find your breath, and acknowledge the bounty that surrounds you. Let it nourish your gentle spirit. When they're in balance, they're graceful, perceptive, and artistic. When they're out of balance, they may have food allergies, insomnia, or a racing mind. To bring back into balance, yin yoga, a cozy home, and good food for the gazelle. And then for the journey of love, the first card out is the Spiral Dance of the Goddess, 29, which is actually 2 before the Christ flame, which is coming up for Easter next week. So the Spiral Dance of the Goddess. From a point of light unfolding, we become a soul, then incarnate into a sacred body, and our lives become a work of divine art. A speck of heavenly presence manifesting itself through dimensions of time and space and into a life on earth made manifest. The extraordinary fact of your existence is a divine happening. As though the light of the moon is dancing not only upon the water, but inside of it, your ancient light is dipping into the mud of the earth. This is how the soul becomes a divine human in the making. As you sense yourself moving and shifting from light to dark and back again, from knowing to unknowing, you are weaving your consciousness, your divinity into sacred expression, manifesting your soul essence into the form of your life. Threading the light through the darkness without ever realizing you're doing it, you're gently impregnating the matter of your body, of your life, with light. Your body and your life become luminous, radiant, and you assist others even just through your presence. It sounds wonderful, and it is, yet it is not always an easy path. As the light travails through the darkness, pain and suffering can arise in waves. To be present to it, trust that it is not a permanent condition, and wait for the spiral to twist from dark to light again, always moving closer and closer to the purity of the center and expanding outward eternally, as though you're being inhaled by the divine, filling cosmic lungs as they reach far and wide, taking in all of life. The message of this oracle to you is that you're growing. You're bringing more of your light into form. You may be meeting obstacles in yourself and in the world, but this is because you're bringing through the light. If there were nothing happening, there would be no obstacle. Bless them as signs that you are proceeding and empower them no more. You shall be, all else is just divine timing. The inner movement, in expressive flow, an outward breath of dance and light, becoming one, becoming free. And the next page is Towering Magnificence. Okay, guys. Water, sleep, joy, nature. Eat, pray, love, and all that jazz. And rise and be love, you guys. Breathe. I'll see you soon. Bye.